Hey everybody, welcome back to Stitching with Your Besties. I'm Tracy, and thank you so much for joining me for episode number 11. I'm sorry it's been a while. I think I tend to say that quite often. Lots going on. Hubby returns back to work on Monday after his knee replacement. He was out a full 3 months. He did an excellent job of rehabbing, and yeah, so it's just been a busy summer of taking care of him and never seeming to have the time to squeeze in the grandkids, squeeze in yard work, squeeze in keeping the house clean. So anyway, welcome back. I'm so thankful that you're here. I'm so thankful that you're giving me another opportunity to show you what I'm working on. So if you're new here, this is a channel about cross stitch. I cross stitched as a young girl and then as a young mom, and once I had my second child and began working full-time, I put it aside and I left it for about 35 years. So I picked it back up in 2023. I stitched Primrose Cottage's Welcome to the North Pole. That's what got me in, and it was a stitch along, and so I was able to do a portion of it at a time for 6 months. I ended up finishing that earlier than expected, but it was so nice to be able to start back up and feel like, even though it was a large chart, I wasn't overwhelmed with getting back into cross stitch. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to tell you what's going on with life. I told you about hubby's and his knee. He goes back on Monday. I have our last child is getting married in October 18th. And she did not want a wedding. She wanted to run away. Her fiance didn't quite want to run away, wanted kind of a small wedding. And of course, we're now at the last minute throwing something together. So she's going to get married at his parents' church. And then we're going to go over to where they met, which is at a bar that she used to work at. She used to serve at. So that's where our reception is going to be. So we've got the hustle and bustle of, running around, last minute stuff. Again, she didn't want to get married, so, she felt like, I can just show up and say I do, and now all of a sudden it's, oh my gosh, we've got to buy flowers, we've got to do this. So it's been a kind of a crazy, she had called me sometime in mid-August and was in a panic and said, I have 2 months, and we were headed out to Florida for a camping trip, and it was like, okay, when I get back, it's just going to have to be, all hands on deck and stress. It's just going to be stress for the next 6 weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. She's our last child to get married, and we absolutely love her fiance. So we're excited about it. So that's going on. And other than that, everything is just winding down. Thank goodness it's September. I tell you guys, my garden this year was cherry tomatoes and okra, and we have more than we could have hoped for. It's done so well. Our freezers are full, so I can make spaghetti sauce and have okra for all winter long. So we were excited. Those are the only 2 things that I planted this year. After losing my mom, I really didn't want to have a garden. And hubby and I have made such a little habit of going out there daily and picking our stuff. It just, he wanted to have a garden this year. So we did just tomatoes and okra this year, and it was really, really nice. And we are pulling up the beds and going to set them aside. My yard is completely out of control in the backyard, and I'm very unhappy about it. And I can't seem to logically think through how I can make it better with the structure it has at this point. So we are going to take all the garden beds down, set them aside, decide what we want to do with them next year, and then put some grass back in that area. The weeds have taken over. It's just not pretty to look at. It's quite aggravating for me. So we're going to do that this fall as well. When I say we don't know if we're going to put the beds back, we do talk about retiring. End of 2026 is when hubby will be 65, and that's kind of our goal at this point. And it's kind of like you think to yourself, do you want to stay in this house? It's a upstairs, downstairs, the only thing that's downstairs that we need to come to is the freezers and our laundry. So eventually it's kind of like, okay, this 3,000 square foot house is probably going to be too big, and the yard is a little over 2 acres. So, you keep thinking, okay, it's time to downsize. And so that's kind of where we're at, is trying to figure out where we're going to be in the future. I would certainly love to get in our camper. My goal was to get in our camper and see the United States for 2 years. But I've got 2 children who are trying for kids. Our middle child already has our 2 grandchildren, and then the oldest is going through IVF, and our youngest is getting married, and she's ready to start a family shortly after that. So both of them would like us to stay around and take care of the kids like we helped with the first 2. Obviously, we would love that as well. But you do get to the point where you're in your 60s and you're like, okay, how many good years do we have left as you age? Infirmities come on you, and arthritis, and sicknesses. And so I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer. I'm just trying to say, let's get out there and enjoy life while we can. So I would love to get in our camper, as I was saying, and go 2 years across the United States, do a trail, and just sell the house, not worry about anything, and just enjoy being the camper. But there is always that pull to be around the grandkids and our children. And if you think about it, what we paid for our house 15 years ago, there's no way we could find a house this size and this much land for the same price. And so all that kind of weighs in on your head as far as, what are we going to do? So we're going through that as well. So all that's on my mind. And, do I want to buy that carpet? I might sell the house next year. So, and I think with losing my mom this year, it will actually be a year in about 12 days. And it's hard to believe that a year has passed, and it just puts everything into perspective. She was our last parent on both of our sides, and it's just been a hard year to try and go through that grief, know that time is limited, and stay upbeat about it. So she's highly missed, and I can't believe it's been a year. So that's all that we're going through. And I would like to say that I would like your opinion on older women getting facelifts. I remember my mom being this age. It was after her mom passed away, and she would go around going, I'm going to get a facelift. I'm going to get a facelift. And I would say to her, Mom, grow old gracefully. Just let it go. And I admire, the Helen Mirrens of the world that, just have such a beautiful, expressive face. She's got the wrinkles. She hasn't done anything. It's just wonderful. And I did read something recently that said that our crow's feet or our wrinkles are indications that it's a life well lived, and that some people don't age enough to get gray hair. They don't make it to get gray hair. They don't make it to get wrinkles. They die earlier. And it was such a moment of reminding me that I did say to my mom, age gracefully. But I tell you, you get to this point and it's like, wow, especially because I had that Mohs procedure on my nose, and my nose is deformed. For lack of a better word, it is. And it's just kind of like, man, maybe I could just do a little lift, y'all. Just listen, let's just do just a tiny bit, right? Let's get rid of these right here. And if I could grow a goatee, I would. Listen, my husband has a goatee, and he doesn't show these. So I think it's quite unfair, and I think us women should embrace some plastic surgery. Can I? So all that going through my head, I'd love to have your opinion on what you think about that. For us ladies that are of the mature age, do we grow old gracefully, or do we get a nip and tuck if it's going to make us feel better? Anyway, so let's get down to what I'm stitching on, and what I have finished, and hopefully what my plans are. My favorite thing that I want to show you this week, and what I've been watching, and we'll get into all that. So What I've been watching, I'm watching The White Lotus. I absolutely think that's definitely something that you could get. I enjoy it. Let's put it that way. There's some things that are kind of startling, but I truly enjoy, the writing. So I've been watching The White Lotus. I haven't finished it yet. I am not the girl that sits down and watches show after show. I just don't. I listen to books a lot. I am currently in the second reading of The Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and it is my second time because I did Throne of Glass and then I went backwards and did The Assassin's Blade, and I feel like you need to start with The Assassin's Blade. So I just kind of wanted to go in order and read it a second time, and then I'm going to go to book 2. So I do a lot of reading, and I listen to podcasts if I'm not into my book. So I don't watch a lot of TV. But I did watch The White Lotus. I will tell you, I tried. I just don't think I can do it. The Hunting Wives. It's not that I'm a prude about it. It's that it feels very predatory. That show feels predatory to me. And while I'm not judging anybody that doesn't see it the same way, it feels dark. So I chose not to finish that. And other than that, I did watch my football game last night. And those of you that are new here, I am a 42-year long-suffering, up until 2018, Kansas City Chiefs fan. And then we got Patrick Mahomes, and we got Andy Reid, and we got Travis Kelce, and all the other members of the team. I don't mean to negate any of those, but magic happened, and we've had a great 7 years, and we watched that last night, and it wasn't the way we hoped it would turn out. But I will absolutely still be a huge football watching fan. So that's what I'm watching. I told you what I'm reading, and I read all the time. So I think I'm going to probably start adding my books as what I'm doing versus watching TV. As far as YouTube, I'm watching Floss, Bossin, Cousins. I'm watching, of course, Stitching with the Housewives. I'm watching Primrose Cottage. I'm watching... I'm probably going to have to cut this part because I can't remember. I love watching Chris, the camping stitcher. She reminds me of my friend here, one of my friends here, and it just fascinates me to watch her because she reminds me of her to the T. Let's see, and I'm watching Nichol Spohr. So I'm kind of watching the same people that I've been watching over and over. I try and catch them a lot more often. I want to show you what I'm stitching, and I want to show you the way it looks because I panicked and restarted it and it looked exactly the same, and I think I have a theory. So I'm stitching Primrose Cottage's America, My Home Sweet Home, and yes, it looks exactly like you're seeing it. It looks crooked. And I think, guys, it's because this is the first time I've added tape. So I had gone to South Carolina and went into that needlepoint store. That was video number 8, if you want to see that. And they told me to get some, I'll put a link into this description about what this tape is. And it works. I mean, it definitely keeps me from fraying, and it sticks. It's not masking tape. It's some type of architecture tape or something, but I'll put it in there. And you can get it from Amazon. And I think that's what's throwing us off, because if you look, it's straight. Let me fix it. So it's just the way I've got it cut and the tape. Let me see. I think it is... So if you look, it is straight. Yeah. The stitching itself is straight, but the fabric is not cut straight. So I think that's what my problem is. But look at how cute this is. I'm still into patriotic. I'm really into wanting to be ready for America's 250th next year. So I'm hoping to get some of the things that I have done finished as well, fully finished. So this one's very, very close. I started it sometime, I think early August, and then we went away to Florida for a week, and I didn't stitch as much because we were quite busy. We were enjoying riding our bikes, and we stopped off at Disney to meet my son and his wife there just for one day. But we stayed around the area, and so just enjoyed the area. But this is just, I mean, so precious. I'm going to turn it so you can see it the right way. Yeah. Oop, this way. Oop, this way. Just beautiful. It is just so cute, and I cannot wait to get it finished. So that's one thing that I'm stitching on. And the other thing, yes, again, I'm stitching on two things, which I have not made much progress. But this is my Judith Kirby Victorian number 15. I've already finished Victoria number 9, which is what you see there. And then over here where my needle is, and sorry about that, guys, I've got a hanging needle. I've added a couple of rows of fencing, and then we're starting to do another, yeah. Oop, come this way, Tracy. Okay. So I've started over here where the thread is, and making progress. This is stitched on 3 over, is that 3 over 1? I think this is a 14 count. And no, maybe not. I'll tell you in the description. But it's 3 threads, and it is just, whew, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of thickness. It's a lot of thread. But I love it. I have done this. I've had house number 9 done for 2 years. And I keep saying I was going to finish 15 because it's going to extend. It'll be 2 houses. And finally I was like, you know what? You're going to get on this. So I'm stitching that as well. I'm stitching America. I'm going to be done with America pretty soon. And then I'm going to do some finishes, but I'm also going to start working on Judith Kirby heavily and hope to have that done. I probably won't have it ready for Halloween finishing. I do have a wedding going on until the 18th, but at least I'll get it stitched and it'll be ready, and then I can put it away with my Halloween and fall decorating when the time's right. Okay, so those are my 2 whips. Now let me show you my fully finished objects, and I'm very proud of these. All right, so the first one that I fully finished on my own is Finally a Farm Girl's The Gathering Gourd. Look how pretty. So I put it on a piece of board with some batting behind it, and then stretched the fabric and made sure it was nice and tight. And then I did a cording around that, and I did it on the A-frame, or I think it's called a flat fold maybe, that is on the front of the pattern. So you can see it, and I thought I really like that look. And I absolutely love the fabric. So I got this at Michael's. And I believe I told you on the last video that I had gone into Michael's and gotten this. And if I didn't tell you the story, I'm going to tell you again. I absolutely love this. Found it online, went into the store, they had it. I'm going to tell you real quick about Michael's, and I'm going to go back to this what I think about this. Michael's workers there told me directly that they did not buy Joann's fabrics. They bought the ability to the Joann's proprietary stuff. They can now sell it, and in some cases they'll change the name to Michael's. But they have over 50,000 fabrics online, and so they have plenty of fabrics. You can go online, search. We found this initially. It was kind of a yellow gold, and then when I went to the store, I actually saw the greens, and I liked it a lot better. I absolutely love this look. However, I will say this, that I love this fabric so much. I wish you could see it better. So when it sits, it's basically all cross stitch, and you can't see much of the fabric behind. And so I think for me, I'm more of a flat fold or a flat finisher, and then put the fabric behind it, and I think it would have made it pop. But I still love it. I still think this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, and that is finally a Farm Girls, the Gathering Gourd. So I got that finished. So proud of myself. I finished something. And then I took my American Celebration, Primrose Cottage, American Celebration, started it. I don't know the dates. I need to start getting better at that and telling you because I do write it down. I stitched it on Mushroom Lugana, 32 count, I believe. And I chose to do it in a blue frame with the red, white, and blue. And I actually think it came out beautiful. It initially came out very crooked. And the young man called me and said, it's ready, but I just want to warn you it's crooked. And I thought, oh, okay. So I went there and it was crooked. And I said, no, we can't do that. We've got to figure this out. And I said, generally you stretch the fabric and, it's just, I've seen Vanna, I've seen Chantel, I've seen Nicole all finishing, and I've seen where they've had to stretch it out, which is what I'm hoping with the one that I've got crooked here that I can do. So it is a little bit of a swag right here. And I kind of decided, because he worked really hard on it, and I kind of decided I'm going to go ahead and let that go because it kind of does look like a banner. Maybe a little off, but to have it professionally framed, this was at Hobby Lobby. They were so easy to work with. They took, probably 5 minutes to write up an order. They knew exactly the colors. He could identify the colors easily. This blue would work. This red would work. And I absolutely think, even though it's a little bit of, a curve, I love it. I will tell you this, I didn't think to ask for the non-glaring glass, but I will do that next time. All of my stitches are signed on the back of the board that this sits on. So even though I don't have my initials, which I wish I'd get back in that habit, I did that in my young days, it is signed. So if this ever gets removed, someone will know who stitched it, when I stitched it, and where I'm located, my town. So that's my second fully finished in one video, y'all. I'm so excited. Okay, so that's all I've done. As you know, I'm mainly a monogamous stitcher, and I am proud of myself for stitching 2. This is the second video where I'm stitching 2, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep myself busy with these and keep stitching away. There's so many wonderful things, aren't they? So I do have some haul, but I'm going to share that next go around because I don't have it with me. I've got it coming in the mail, so I'd like to show that to you. And I'm hoping to have some things fully finished again. So when I get some quiet time, hubby's going back to work on Monday, as I told you, so that's been a struggle. So yeah, he's going back, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more time. I've got Grandparents' Day lunch on Monday, Grandparents' Day lunch on Friday. I'm going to meet a girlfriend on Tuesday, all hoping to get back to normal. So I do want to tell you what I'm really liking these days. Last time I told you it was the Olay cleansing melts that get all my makeup off, including my eye makeup, without any harshness to my skin. So I really like those. And this time I want to show you what I'm liking this month. I've always loved watches, and I've loved pretty watches. And my favorite watch of all time that I don't wear very often is my Michael Kors watch. And I'm sure those of y'all that are my age remember the ceramic watch that had the beautiful white ceramic band. Absolutely loved this thing. I've put lots of batteries in it over the years. I've had it for 30 years now. It was the most expensive watch I've ever bought prior to buying Apple Watches. Once I got into Fitbits, I started wearing a Fitbit, and then Fitbit I think had a watch type function, and so I would wear those because I wanted to track my steps. And then Apple Watches came out. And Apple Watches were utilitarian, and we all know, that they provide a service. And recently I have found something called Pretty Strap. Pretty Strap. I'll put a link down below. And the Pretty Strap makes your Apple Watch, let me close this up for you, makes your Apple Watch look pretty versus that, hard or plastic. But you can see it just gives it kind of that really nice face. This is an added piece that I purchased, and then the band that I purchased, I have another band, but it just kind of dresses up your watch. This is not sponsored. This is strictly something that I wanted to share with you that I thought was really pretty. And that's what I'm liking this month. All right, so I think that's about it. I do have a giveaway, and I'm going to post a picture right here. This is created by one of my besties, Sally Jo, and Sally Jo said I could give away one to those that watch my video. So I'm going to send this to you. It's a PDF. And if you will answer the question of, should I get a facelift or would you get a facelift? I will enter you. You have to use the term facelift, and I will use the random generator, pick somebody, and I will ship you a PDF of Sally's adorable little chart. She is not known yet, but I mean, you can see how cute this is. She's dabbling and it's adorable, and she said I could give one away. So thank you, Sally Jo. I love you, bestie, and I appreciate you letting me give one of these away. So that's all I've got now, guys. I want to thank you for coming. I please ask you to like this video, subscribe to this video, and turn on those notification bells. It helps the algorithm. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you tolerating me. And I can't wait to hopefully see you a lot sooner than a month. So you guys take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.